First word from both coaches when we talked to them yesterday, rebounds. UCLA, second best in the country. Duke, in their LSU win, was able to hang with LSU on the glass, the best rebounding team in the country.
Duke plays tremendous ball pressure. You've got a welcoming environment, and the first opportunity is a step up screen up the lane, and a bucket inside.
Ledger Walker with the assist to Gabriela Jaquez. We've got the champions of the Big Ten and the champions of the ACC head-to-head for a spot in the Final Four against either Texas or Michigan next weekend in Phoenix. That game's tomorrow night on ESPN as Taina Mayer scores inside.
The other thing too, Beth, is unscripted plays like that one right there. That's just a great basketball cut by Mayer. Reading the defense.
Jaquez into the paint, and then the kick out short from Rice. And an offensive rebound stripped away by Duke. Swing it around to Riley Nelson. She's off the mark. Rice will push. Delaney Thomas able to catch her. It will stay at this end for the Bruins, and Corey Close in her 15th season. Returned to the Final Four last year and looking to get back one more time. The best season in Bruin history with 34 wins against just one loss. That was way back in November. Betts can't hit that, and Fournier's got it.
Duke playing Betts straight up to start the game, even though she does demand a double.
Nice catch for Delaney Thomas. Duke's going to need her. She was in foul trouble on Friday night, played limited minutes.
Both these teams have incredible scoring capability from 5 positions, and they love to play with pace. But I think the game's going to slow down at points where you're going to have to execute.
Kara Lawson, now in her 6th season, was the ACC Coach of the Year as they swept the regular season and tournament, and of course spends her off-season coaching the U.S. national team, gearing up for the Olympics in LA in a couple of years. And Mayer starts out 2 for 2.
Drop coverage for Lauren Betts, and you're going to have mid-range jumpers. You're going to have to finish them.
Betts double comes, she powers it up, and Neepkins has the offensive rebound. She'll give it a go in the lane, and she muscles that one up and in.
I like a lot of offense, even though these two teams are good defensively.
I think you're going to be happy with the result today, Debbie. Nelson gets it into Fournier. She tried to power that one up and in. She told us yesterday energy can be greater than size down on the low block. She's going to have to prove that today. 6'4" against 6'7", as Thomas gets the steal of a bad pass.
You would think a 6'7" would know how to throw that high-low pass. And
Jackson to Fournier.
So the buckets for Duke have come off their pace. They're quick hitters in transition. They're beating UCLA up the floor.
Starting out 4 of 6. Another dig down immediately when Betts touches the ball. There's Ledger Walker, who did not play last year, and stepping on the sideline is Neepkins.
One of the big keys for Duke is being able to score in the mid-range. Watch this right here. Lauren Betts, okay, is in drop coverage. Look at the separation there is right here between her and helping on that ball screen. Duke's going to have opportunities. They're going to have to knock them down.
UCLA has now turned it over 3 of the last 4 times they've had it. Here's Mayer. There's that drop coverage again. And Taina is 3 for 3 to open up.
Don't run anything else until UCLA adjusts. You don't have to overcoach that action.
Neepkins passes out of the double team. Ledger Walker off the bounce, and a foul inside.
And Beth, this is the way you beat pressure, right? Reverse the ball, skip over the top, force a closeout, and then make a great read, which is exactly what Ledger Walker did to get to the line.
Fouls on Fournier, her first. So Charlize, the grad student from New Zealand, to the line as Ariana Robertson checks in for Duke. These two teams squared off early in the season. It was a 30-point UCLA win without the Betts sisters. It is the biggest loss of the Kara era at Duke. So while they talk about not avenging that, they have a chance to win 3 straight games against teams that beat them in the regular season. They are off to a much better start already than they were November 27th in Las Vegas. Nelson on the curls, scoops it up and in. What a play.
Most players don't like to use their left hand on the left side of the floor anymore, Beth, but we're going to keep drilling it in the gyms everywhere across America.
They are 6 for 8 to open up. Kiki Rice. Dugalich, who had a double-double off the bench the other night. Betts. And they're going to get a foul on the floor on Delaney Thomas.
Okay, that's a good whistle for UCLA early because they're trying to establish Betts. High-low typically takes help away down the middle third. It's a good look by UCLA.
Dugalich on the inbound. Corey Close was hoping to score on all their set pieces today. She thought that was going to be a big stat. Thomas attacks. Betts bothers. And Lauren wins that one. Pass inside, Dugalich. Using that size advantage to score off the window.
And she's calling for the flop. I love a good turnaround jumper off the glass. There's that backdoor opportunity. Ledger Walker did a good job defending it.
Jackson. Good flash to the middle by Nelson. And that's going to be a foul on the rebound against the Bruins and Neepkins. 12-7 Duke early on. Blue Devils surviving and advancing because of the sharp shooting at the buzzer from Ashlyn Jackson. Coming up in the clutch.
My teammates and my coaches, they trust me and they believe in me. And, you know, whenever shots aren't really falling for me, I can't really hang my head. You know, like, that's just how the game goes. Every competitor knows that. But just having that faith from them and that belief from them is really all I needed.
Ashlyn Jackson's team always have her back. Taina Mayer told me that she went up to Ash before her free throws and said, "Bring us home, Ash," and then she missed both. But Ashlyn was laughing yesterday as she relived that moment. But as you just heard, she knew her team always believed in her, and Coach Lawson said it was always 3, Beth.
Yeah, the first buzzer beater triple in the tournament since Arike Agumbawale.
Beth, I don't care who you cheer for. I don't care who your favorite team is. When anybody does a moment like that in March, it is chilling. It's tearful. It's emotional. It was amazing.
And some momentum, Debbie, because it is carried over into the first quarter today, and it is all Duke early on.
Duke is the aggressor on both sides, right? Their ball pressure on defense and then their ability off the bounce. Look how spaced out the UCLA defense is in allowing Nelson a driving lane.
Three-point play for Riley Nelson. Jumped into the starting lineup after a couple of Duke starters got hurt in December. They lost their point guard, they lost their best defender, according to Coach Kara Lawson. And so a 7-man rotation all year long, and it has worked quite well. They've won 24 of their last 26 games since December 4th. Rice, nice crossover, gets to the rim.
See, that is a patient, mature possession by UCLA. Stay aggressive, look to attack, get in the gap, makes 2 people guard you, and then make a play.
Kiki, an All-American this year. Mismatch there. Robertson gets bumped. And did she step out of bounds?
Kiki is having her best year. Nice hard roll to the rim, and you penetrate right behind that roll. That opens up the space. Betts with a little Gortat screen in there. Screen your own player, create some lane opportunity.
A Gortat?
Yeah, you know Gortat plays in the NBA. He does that all the time.
Jaquez on the drive. Betts tried to tip it to herself. And it's a loose ball tracked down by the Bruins. Rice back to Ledger Walker. So much experience, so much court awareness, basketball IQ for this UCLA veteran squad.
Mayer, get the mismatch. I mean, pull her out, clear it out, and go.
Jackson just inside the line, and there's Hawke's weak side.
The degree of difficulty for shots is something that LSU's looking to contest. So is Duke. They're really good at contesting jumpers.
Rice stole it, got it stolen, almost took it back. Wood. They run her off the three-point line. Nelson, the only one there for the rebound.
Good scramble and hustle by Duke. You don't want Jordan Wood to catch it in the corner or shoot it outside the three-point line. She's a specialist off the bench for them with her size. 50% of the shots she takes her from beyond the arc.
Oh, Ledger Walker wanted it. Dugalich couldn't get it to her. Now Betts finds Charlize. Shot clock's winding down. Rice tries to go to work on the baseline. Just 3 seconds to go. And good defense for Duke, and they get a shot clock violation. That's what Kara Lawson's teams have always been good at, and now their best offensive unit to match it.
They have tremendous balance at Duke. They can beat you two ways. Their defense puts a lot of pressure. It's disruptive. It's very well schemed, and then their offense is unselfish.
Both teams dictate with their defense, and they win those 50-50 balls. They make the passion plays, as UCLA calls them.
That's a tough shot, right? That's not a good shot.
Just out of bounds. It will stay with Duke. 11 on the shot clock.
Both these coaches are so well prepared for this moment as well. Of course, Corey Close has been to the Final Four last year. Since June, they have been working on getting back. And coaches will tell you this game is the most pressurized game because you've been trying all year to get to the Final Four. This is your goal, and it's right here, possession by possession in front of you.
Tiana Mayer has hit her first 4 shots of the game, and an 8-point Duke lead. And their defense right now forcing more turnovers than allowing UCLA baskets. Betts fouled and a trip to the line coming.
Tiana Mayer, I mentioned early, one of the better point guards in the country. Nobody seems to be talking about, but if you've been around the ACC or you've played the schedule that Duke has played, she gets ultimate respect from the coaches across the country. She has been outstanding, and she is moving up the charts in the ACC historically for assists.
So Betts, the senior from Centennial, Colorado, to the line, 66%. As good as she's been in the regular season, her tournament numbers even better over the course of her career, first at Stanford and now in Westwood, playing her 131st game here today, with over 1,800 points and 1,000 rebounds and 250 block shots.
She's 64% at the rim. So UCLA does a great job of typically moving the ball, spacing around her, and giving her opportunities to get to that left shoulder with that right hand. Yeah, that's a butt screen and an illegal screen. I think actually that is the right call. Kara Lawson doesn't like it. Watch the screen by Jackson. She butts her way when you turn. It's a butt screen. It's illegal. Butt screens are legal, but when you move like that, they're not.
That's her first.
Plus the push by Nelson. It could have gone either way.
So a chance for UCLA to chip away. Trailed by as many as 8 here in the first quarter. Betts over Robertson. And that is the first bucket for Lauren. Final minute of this first quarter.
2-for-1 opportunity.
Jordan Wood with the bucket.
I'm telling you right now, this is a good game, right? This is well played early on. Both teams taking advantage of their strengths early.
Betts, got mano a womano there and knocks it down off the window.
When she catches it that deep with 2 feet in the paint and buries her defender in the cylinder, you got no chance.
Final seconds, Mayer for 3, off the mark. Early drama. Let's see if we can carry it through here in Sacramento for a spot in the Final Four. And we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Coach, what an exciting first quarter. This is what it's all about. What do you like about the energy and the pace that your team has set so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what you expect. Two teams are battling to go to the Final Four. I thought we had great pace to our offense, got the ball up the floor quickly. It's what we want to do. Try to be disruptive defensively. Hopefully we can continue that.
That started heating up at the end. What do you need to adjust in the second?
Yeah, I mean, we got in a little foul trouble there in the first half and didn't have our starting forwards in. So hopefully we can stay out of it and continue to rotate different players on her, see if we can be effective.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And for Kara Lawson, the Blue Devils are also the Avengers of late. Lost to Baylor back in November, bounced the Bears in the NCAA second round. Lost to LSU in December, knocked out the higher seed on Friday night. And now the worst loss in 7 years at Duke. Can they avenge it here in the Elite Eight and get back to the Final Four for the first time in 20 years? They're hot right now, winners of 24 of their last 26. Only UConn and UCLA, Debbie, are hotter as the Bruins have not lost since late November to Texas, their only loss of the season.
Both coaches, Coach of the Year in their respective leagues. See, this is situations that I'm talking about, Beth. This is what I said at the beginning about execution and determining the game. And not just offense. We always talk about situations from an offensive lens, but it's what you do defensively as well to disrupt in those stoppages with dead balls.
First quarter for Duke, Mayer and Nelson had 15 points. Everybody that played scored for UCLA, led by Lauren Betts with 6. Here's Dugalich with the turnaround. And it ends up with Hawkes. Neepkins for 3, no, but Dugalich tips it back up and in.
So Dugalich is a great story. One of 6 seniors on this team or grad students volunteered to come off the bench to help the team because Corey Close really has 6 or 7 starters.
They had 2 big transfers added to the lineup in Ledger Walker and Neepkins this season. Here's Sienna Betts. She and her sister Lauren getting to play together in this NCAA tournament. Played 1 year of high school together as well, Sienna in her freshman season at UCLA. Jackson, nice shake. Can't hit the 3, but there's Mayer to follow. Nice drop off to Fournier.
To this point, UCLA's done a great job not letting Fournier catch it on the right block, but off an offensive rebound. That's just a broken play, unscripted, nice play by Duke. They want to keep Fournier from catching on the right block. You got to box out. We talked about rebounding and how important it is. Nobody is in the area. Now remember, that was a loose ball that got unscrambled defensively and unattached defensively, and then Fournier again. Those are the plays that might determine the game as well.
Fournier, the 6'2" sophomore from Toronto, has already scored 1,000 points in her career. Dugalich, that's masterclass in ball fake, and then the blow by. Mayer uses the Fournier screen, and she's hit 5 for 6 to open up the game.
And she has not missed in the mid-range. She's been terrific, looking to score, being a threat on the top of the floor.
Senior from Boston. Kara Lawson says she's our backbone. She brings the toughness. Helped force a turnover there.
Look at this great pump fake right down the lane line with the left. and the finish at the rim. And then Mayer, here's a screen, drop coverage, okay? Beautifully done. You gotta get up to the level of the screen on Mayer now. Let's see if Corey Close's defense makes an adjustment.
Betts can sag off of Thomas.
They flex cut to get Fournier open on the block, and UCLA stuffs it.
The shot blocker is there. Kiki Rice spinning. A whirling dervish. Lefty layup is good. Over the top to Fournier. That's her spot.
There's that right block, Beth. 82% of the shots she takes are at the rim. 87.5% of the shots she makes are on that spot right there. You have to keep her from getting there. That's a lot of numbers, but it is really telling about the scouting report.
Betts with Fournier defending. Dugalich wanted to get it back to her.
She was looking for the duck-in repost.
Now they got a shot clock issue. Rice, Betts has to launch, didn't get it up. That is the second one of the first half for the Duke D.
Watch this play right here. First you stuff the Fournier cut, then you block the shot. And when Lauren Betts blocks shots into their transition game, this is what happens. What a beautiful finish by Kiki Rice. They go to their horn set with two posts at the elbows.
Jackson. She'll try for the mid-range. Ashland so far 0 for 3. Duke does not have a triple yet in the game. Neither side does.
So, Beth, there's not many small lineups on the floor for Duke, but this is one of their bigger lineups on the floor when Mayer comes off the court. Now, who's going to score for them, right? Because Mayer's been eating it up in the mid-range.
Mayer has 10 to lead all scorers here in the first half.
Throw it in there.
Betts, patient. Oh, they're going to call her for the offensive foul with a wrap.
I think Betts has always shown great patience right here, but there you see the hook on Fournier. It's a good call.
Her first. I think this could be USA versus Canada in the not too distant future.
It might
Those
be.
two. Lauren spent some time with the U.S. national team, coached by Kara Lawson earlier this year. Fournier able to step away.
You let her take those. She already has taken a three and missed. You let her take the mid-range. She is so dangerous in the paint.
Both sides shooting better than 50%. You know you got to do that. You know you got to score if you're going to hang with the likes of the UConn Huskies. They are already into the Final Four on the other side of the bracket.
That's the key. They're on the other side. South Carolina or TCU tomorrow will have to worry about the Huskies.
Winner of this one gets Texas or Michigan. Thomas, the pick, the roll, the foul. 29-23, Blue Devils here in the second. Thank you, ladies. That stat sheet advantageous to Duke so far. And the winner moves on to the Final Four Friday in Phoenix against either Texas or Michigan.
For Michigan, their All-American Olivia Olson has scored a total of 46 points in the last 6 quarters of play. And Madison Booker, the All-American at Texas for head coach Vic Schaefer, 57 points in the last 2 games.
She's had a 40-burger already in the tournament. That'll come your way from Fort Worth. Our game here will be South Carolina and TCU. The winner of that one will face Connecticut. The unbeaten Huskies are into the national semis for the 25th time under Gino Auriemma. Lauren Betts, 2 for 5 so far on the day.
In a crowd. Duke doing a really good job because UCLA hasn't hit any threes.
Fournier. Can't get that to go.
Beth, if you don't hit any threes, the floor shrinks. So Duke with their length is heavy in the gap. and they're able to stunt, change their looks, bring a double, maybe on the pass, bring it on the bounce. They're changing it up. UCLA is going to have to open up the floor around her.
Nelson on the drive, scoops that one up and in. It is a double-digit Duke lead, and here's what you were talking about, Debbie, the difference. Everything in the paint, nothing outside for UCLA's offense. They force one down low, swatted away by Jackson. Betts has to pass it out of the double team, and it's knocked loose by Jackson. 11 UCLA turnovers. Thomas spinning, no. Oh, and that's Fournier with the foul, and that is her second.
Yeah, she's got to have a little bit better discipline there. She should know that was a tough one for her to get, and Roberson's going to have to come in the game now. Roberson.
Fournier will check out with 3:38 to go.
You know, Duke in the LSU game, Beth, never put LSU in the bonus. LSU, an excellent free throw shooting team. UCLA is an excellent free throw shooting team. Not in the bonus so far. They got to be more aggressive in drawing some fouls.
Sienna Betts, the sisters on the floor together, and Sienna, one of the best freshman recruits, sends that one up and in. Mayer fouled on the drive.
I'll tell you what, Mayer with the ball on the open floor is the fastest player on the floor today. And, you know, when we were joking with her about she's morphing into Kara Lawson, and when we said it out loud, her teammates started laughing because they're like, we've been saying that. Just her demeanor, her poise, her ability to manage the game, her understanding of what Duke needs, when it needs it. I call it the 3 W's of a good point guard. Who to get the ball to, when, and where. You got to really understand the skill set of your teammates to do those things.
She just drew the second foul on Gianna Neepkins. She helped set them up defensively too, Debbie. 2 shot clock violations for the Bruins here in the first half. They had 6 all season.
I think UCLA looks stagnant. You know, they're just not moving without the ball. That's a tough catch right there by Betts. What a finish.
That's Lauren to Sienna. Their lone season together, trying to keep it going for another weekend, and Sienna's going to be whistled for the foul.
I mean, this is when you know you got that sister connection. In a crowd, look at Sienna come down with this catch. Pump fake, finish at the rim. She's got a couple of buckets in tight.
Baseline, Betts is there with her every step of the way, passing traffic knocked out. And shot clock an issue.
Corey Close taking a look at, does she want to appeal this or not? They're on the bench studying it right now, and she is going to decide to appeal it.
All right, so the coaches can appeal. If they don't win, they lose a timeout, which can be critical if this is a close game down the stretch. We'll take the break with them as they check it out. Call on the floor was off of UCLA. Here at Golden One Center in Sacramento in the Elite Eight, Duke leading UCLA 35-27. It's an appeal that it appears UCLA will win, and they will get the ball instead of Duke. Call on the floor was to the Blue Devils, but this is off of Taina Mayer's foot, and it does not hit Lauren Betts on the way out, so a good appeal from the Bruins. They try and rally here, Debbie, down double digits when Fournier went out with 2 fouls about a minute ago. And this senior class, it's been so special. They know that it's coming to a close. They're trying to stay in the present, not think about the future.
What an incredible run from the Final Four last year to the collection of seniors, plus the portal has been good to them with Charlize Ledger-Walker and Gianna Neefkins. It's just a smart group. You can do things on the fly. You can adjust without a timeout. They've been really fun to watch, and they are one of the highest, most efficient offensive teams in the country.
There was conclusive evidence that the ball last touched off of blue 22 prior to going out of bounds. The appeal is successful. White will not be charged a timeout, and White will get the ball on the end line with a full 30-second shot clock.
Successful appeal. As you check out the numbers, gaudy. You know, the Bruins are chasing a little bit of history. You'd love to have your name mentioned with the likes of Annie Myers and Denise Curry and Anita Ortega, their 1978 national championship team under the direction of Billy Moore. They do not have an NCAA championship. This, their best shot at one. A win today would be the most in school history at 35. Sienna Betts, no. Mayer has the rebound. And the run. Duke with numbers. Thomas with the finish.
Team speed. Rebound by your point guard, and immediately eyes to the rim. Look how hard Duke runs the floor.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half. For a UCLA team that has lost just once to the Texas Longhorns, that is the only time they have trailed at halftime this season. Betts to the right hand.
I think their adjustment is to not be so one-dimensional in the second half for Corey Close. They've only thrown it to the block and scored in the paint. They haven't gotten to the free throw line much. They haven't made a triple. And Duke just continues to shrink. Now look how hard and wide and fast they are up the floor quickly. That's a layup drill for Duke.
All the blue jerseys quickly up the floor. All right, can the Bruins chip away at the deficit? Rice takes the handoff. Betts, the pass, knocked away. Turnover number 12.
Got a referee advantage, disadvantage.
Mayer, drive. Nelson spins and hits. She's into double digits. She and Mayer have combined for 23 of Duke's 39.
And Nelson only played 22 minutes and only had 4 points in the LSU game.
Got a whistle off the ball. That'll be on Nelson. That's her first, only the 6th Duke foul of this half. Both sides with UCLA with 14 fouls this quarter as Hawkes hits in the lane.
Nice skip over the top. Good flash to the middle by Hawkes.
Shot clock's off for the Blue Devils.
I'd go screen with Betts. Put her in drop coverage. Mid-range jumper. Here it comes.
There it is. Betts will get out a little bit farther on Mayer.
They're switching that action now.
And the shot way off, and that'll take care of the first half of play. A good one for Duke, 39-31. The top seed in trouble and in unfamiliar territory. Their first halftime deficit since you were eating your Thanksgiving dinner. And the Blue Devils, 20 minutes away from their first Final Four in 20 years. Let's go over to Jess Sims.
Taina, really hot start, especially from you to lead the offense. What are you seeing from UCLA's defense that's giving you so much success?
Yeah, just give me a lot of space on ball screens. So I'm taking the opportunity to, to hit my pull-ups, hit shots to the team.
What do you need to do to continue the momentum into the second half?
Yeah, we just got to continue to stay aggressive and just play our game, and Duke will come out with a win.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
39-31, Duke with the advantage. Mayer leading all scorers with a dozen. As we get you up to the studio with Kelsey, Muffet, and Megan. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. You're watching the Elite Eight presented by AT&T. 20 minutes for a spot in the Final Four, and it's the 3 seed on top of the 1 seed Duke in front 39-31. Just the second time all year that UCLA has trailed coming out of the locker room. Beth Mowins alongside the Naismith Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli, Jess Sims, Violet Palmer. Duke having its way in that first half as we check out our court coverage presented by Geico.
Well, Duke has a game plan, and they have followed it perfectly. You know Betts is going to be in drop coverage. She's not even close to the level of the screen. That's an automatic pull the jumper, and Mayer has been terrific in the first half for Duke. And then UCLA hasn't made any threes. Look at the Duke defense. They are sagging, they are gapping, they are heavy in the gaps. They are using their length. Sienna Betts has made 1 triple all season. Why would you take that shot? Because that long rebound leads to this. Look how quickly Duke's team speed becomes a factor. UCLA's got to take care of the basketball first and foremost, and they've got to defend in transition.
Check out the first half stats brought to you by Dixie. 16 points off of turnovers for Duke. Mayer and Riley Nelson leading the way for the Blue Devils. They have the lead despite a scoreless first half from Ashlyn Jackson and a foul-plagued first half from Toby Fournier. And immediately UCLA gets Betts a touch, and Jaquez attacks as we send it over to Jess Sims.
So Coach Corey Close told me that she talked to her team about poise, and she said we got to do it with our defense. 27 out of 39 of Duke's points are off of our turnovers or off of offensive boards. Duke is also winning the battle of the tunnel and the key, so we need to force them out of the middle, and it's got to be about our D and our connectivity, which we just saw there.
And we also just saw the first points for UCLA outside the paint.
They've made 2 adjustments early. One is the pass to the interior and then the cut. They weren't doing this in the first half. The ball goes inside here, and then you're going to watch the cut right here by Jaquez. As soon as you see the defender turn their head, you basket cut. And then Jaquez in transition, step into it and knock it down. You've got to loosen up the paint.
Delaney Thomas off the ball fake, gets inside, rebounds her own miss. It's the second game in a row, Debbie, that Duke is holding their own against first LSU, now UCLA, the top 2 rebound margin teams in the country, and they're doing it on the glass.
Well, for Duke, they crash the offensive boards with 5 players because they're going to pick you up full court anyway. So you're already matched up with their full court man-to-man defense. It just makes sense strategy-wise with their length and their personnel.
Betts. This is a different looking Bruin team from the one we watched in the first half, and they chip away at what was once a double-digit deficit.
They looked like in the first half they were playing like they were afraid to lose. Now they're the aggressor here in the second half, looking like they're trying to play to make winning plays.
Senior urgency. They don't want this to be the final 20 minutes of their collegiate careers. For all 5 Bruins on the floor right now. Jackson looking for her first bucket. No. Offensive rebound, Nelson, and they're going to get a foul on, I believe it's going to go on Betts, her second.
When you catch it that deep, that is a long ways to go, especially when the entry comes from a 3-point shooter. That's a long ways to go to bring the double. So she just 2 dribbles and buries her defender, Fournier, in the rim, who does have 2 fouls, who doesn't want to pick up a quick third.
Nelson defended by Meekins. Mayer, so good in that first half. Has the mismatch, tries to pull Betts away from the bucket. Ledger Walker head up. Whips the skip pass. Neepkins' 3 is short. And look at Mayer go and get it. 2-on-1 Duke. Mayer with Nelson.
I would have taken a foul up here if I was Kiki Rice. Just take one and not let Duke get any momentum.
Betts the other way with the quick response. Winner is on to the Final Four and a date with either Michigan or Texas. They play tomorrow night on ESPN. Rice stepping through 2 defenders, missed everything. Well, maybe she did touch the rim. Shot clock short goes up, short from Neepkins, or from Ledger Walker.
We haven't had a whistle in a while. Yeah, it's up and down a lot.
Dugalich putting some ball pressure on Thomas. Good hustle from Dugalich to tie it up.
That's one of those passion plays that you're talking about, Beth. Look how quickly, right here, I would have taken that foul. There's no way I'm going to let them go 2-on-1 and score a layup. Every possession so valuable right now. And then Betts sprints, early post up, holds her ground until the ball is over her head. Then she releases to finish.
Jackson. She is now 0 for 5 on the day after she hit the buzzer beater to beat LSU in the Sweet 16. Hawkes, tough shot. Tipped around and Fournier's got it. Mayer, nice screen by Fournier. She took out 2 defenders.
Really nice, right? That works. UCLA did adjust by switching that action, but that was a really good screen.
Rice spins on Thomas. Another tough shot forced by the Duke D, and it's a held ball that will stay with UCLA.
This is the kind of head-hunting screen you want to take right here. This is tough because Betts is in drop coverage. They don't want to switch because they are playing drop coverage. Mayer just taking advantage. All you got to do is get a little piece of that screen coming off that, and she's doing an excellent job, left or right, in her mid-range pull-up.
Already above her average with 14 in her 140th collegiate game. Dugalich still wanting for a deep ball. Teams are a combined 1 for 15 as Duke turns it over.
Got to catch the ball first, Coach Lawson saying. Hey, you got to catch it first before you're looking to shoot the 3. What a different cadence by UCLA, just in the quarter court, the way they move offensively.
And that's a 3rd foul on Toby Fournier.
Good ISO by UCLA to put her at a deficit. What a different looking body language, tempo, temperament. UCLA here in the second half.
Get it out of the corner, and now back up top to Rice, 10 on the shot. Rice gets into the lane, and it's blocked. They had 6 shot clock violations all season, and Duke has gotten them 3 times today.
Really good collapse.
Good block by Robertson. They may need more minutes from her here in the second half with Fournier out.
Beth, UCLA can't get too deep in the shot clock because they don't have that person off the bounce that can just break it off unscripted, right? That's not the way they're constructed. Duke is constructed that way.
Dugalich catches in traffic, tries to keep it high. Neepkins, another lob over the top. And a foul called on Duke. We got a 5-point game with under 5 in the 3rd. Time's getting short for a trip to Phoenix in the Final Four for UCLA and Duke. And Wendy's. And congratulations to the UConn Huskies, undefeated into the Final Four. Geno's dancing in Fort Worth after their big win over Notre Dame in the Elite 8. So they are the first team in. They will face in the national semifinals either TCU or South Carolina. That game's Monday night on ESPN. Another big performance from Sarah Strong Debbie, who's putting herself in with some legendary names.
Those are some legends right there. Women's basketball lore for sure. Anytime you put Diana Taurasi's name on a graphic and you see your name alongside it, that is bucket list material.
Paige Beckers with, of course, that huge tournament a year ago. The Huskies will look to go back-to-back and win for the 13th time. They're in the Final Four for the 25th time. Winner of this one will be on the other side of the bracket in a date with either Texas or Michigan.
So, Beth, UCLA is a team that has played off the pass all season long. So penetrating to the paint against Duke's length hasn't worked for them. The entry passes to the lob and to all that does work.
Offensive foul called on the Hawkes spin that sent Mayer flying.
Are they going to want to look at this or no? They're going to inbound it. But my point, okay, watch this right here. Hawkes.
Where was the contact?
She didn't get hit in the face.
And that's the third foul on Hawkes. I did not see contact to the face.
Didn't like that one.
Nelson, strong defense from Dugalich. Let's see if it's the head-to-head here on the whip around with the head. There it is.
There,
yep.
okay.
There it is, not the elbow.
Still, I don't know. I mean, I still didn't like it.
Duke unable to inflict damage at the other end. Nice backdoor Ledger Walker to Neepkins.
This is what I was trying to say before the foul. 19 made baskets on 12 assists by UCLA. As a team, 68% of their shots are assisted. That's how they play. Duke disrupted that in the first half. Here in the second, UCLA is able to run their stuff.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS and TBS. For tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Of course, their Final Four coming up next weekend. UCLA and Arizona will be there. 2 more tickets punched today.
Including Duke, UConn on the men's side.
That's right. Blue Devils struggling to get the offense going, so UCLA will attack. Ledger Walker with the lean in. And we have got ourselves a 1-point game in the Elite Eight.
Switch.
Jackson lost it. Last time UCLA led was 26 seconds into the game.
Well, they're on their feet here.
Down by as many as 10. Neepkins for the lead. First triple of the game. Timeout Dukies. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance.
Well, UCLA has outscored Duke by 10 here in the third quarter. It's because they have been able to score outside the paint. They've played off the low post with a backdoor cut. They've been able to knock down a couple of threes. They didn't have any triples in the first half, and Duke's defense shrunk, played heavy in the gaps. Now you're going to be able to open up the floor a little bit, and it's going to open up Lauren Betts even more on the low block.
Their defense led to the offense, a 7-0 run with Toby Fournier on the bench with 3 fouls. She is back in to try and help them end a 3.5-minute scoring drought, and look at her impact on the court for the Blue Devils.
And UCLA goes to zone.
Bruins enjoying their first lead since the first minute of the game.
Beth, according to Synergy, Corey Close doesn't play any zone. I mean, very rarely do you see any zone out of the Bruins. 1 possession, remember, situational defense. 1 possession. Back to the man. Nelson off the stagger, the switch.
Jackson will try from outside. Still wanting for her first basket. She's 0 for 6 today.
Duke 0 for 10 outside the arc.
The lob over the top, Betts. They see the mismatch and a foul on Thomas. Just like in the Sweet 16, Debbie, this is a whole different UCLA team adjusting coming out of the locker room.
I mean, they're just doing a really good job with their cadence and their rhythm. And like I said, their body language changed. And the floor has opened up because now look, Duke has no one else in the paint but Delaney Thomas, because now you got to guard the three-point line.
ESPN's Final Four weekend begins on Friday with the studio show at 6 and then the games at 7 on ESPN. Sunday's National Championship ABC afternoon special. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Will it be the UConn Huskies winning a 13th championship? They are the first team we know going to Phoenix. About to send a second one here from Sacramento. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Mayer, pass picked off.
That's because Betts switched out on her.
Neepkins will try on her own, and it's stripped away by Mayer. What a play by Taina to hustle back. Jackson to Thomas. Betts has the board. Her 7th to go along with 14 points.
It's a really great job by Corey Close and her defense, mixing up their schemes based on personnel on their ball screen coverages.
Mayer making another terrific defensive play. Short on the shot as Rice stayed with her and didn't foul, and then Taina does.
To your point about the hustle of Mayer on the other end, this time it's Kiki Rice. Look at this point guard battle, okay? You gotta meet your pass. Up the line on an uphill pass. Duke is going to anticipate that, which Mayer does well, and then Kiki Rice does not give up on the play.
Final minute, third quarter.
Got a good 2-for-1 opportunity here, which Corey Close's staff and team works on every day.
Neepkins looking for another three, short. Long rebound, and Betts thought Gianna was going to get it, and instead Mayer does. And then Neepkins fouls.
She took a foul, but they don't have any fouls to give. Now it's going to be 2 free throws.
That's her third. She'll leave the game. Hawkes back on.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good play by Neepkins.
And a rare miscommunications as Betts gave up on it and Mayer got to it. Taina 86% at the line. Just the 6th and 7th free throws of the day for Duke. That ends a nearly 6-minute Blue Devil drought.
They're going to take this down to the last, for the last possession. They're going one shot here. Let's see if Duke changes their D. They're not going to go zone because Carol Lawson doesn't play any zone. Let's see if they switch their coverage.
Walker swings it to Rice. That one won't go. Dugalich, offensive rebound. Good if it goes, and she gets it. UCLA wins the third quarter 20-8. And they will take the lead into the fourth with a spot in the Final Four on the line. And we'll be back for that fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Down by as many as 10 in the first half, UCLA dominates the third quarter, including the points off of turnovers that were an issue in the first half and on the glass as we send it over to Jess.
Coach, you've taken the lead for the first time since the first minute of the game. What's changed?
Defense and rebounding, taking care of the basketball. We did not execute our game plan in the first half, and I thought we didn't have a lot of poise, and our tempo wasn't very good. We get back to who we are and what our anchor is. We give ourselves a good chance.
How do you keep the momentum going to really pull away in the last quarter?
That's a good question. You got any ideas for me? I mean, they're making plays. This is our player. We have a very mature team. They know what they need to do. They need to be the tougher, more together team, and they need to respond together.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, that defense she spoke of, holding Duke to a nearly 6-minute drought in that third quarter. The Blue Devils, winners of 24 their last 26. UCLA riding a 28-game win streak. And here we go into the fourth quarter, Debbie, in a situation for UCLA. They have only had 2 close games the entire year. How do they respond now in another one?
In their 28-game win streak, you're right. At Ohio State, they won by 7. At Michigan, they won by 3. They've only played in 2 other close games besides the one they lost to Texas. This is going to be Duke's defense against the execution of the mature, tougher together team that Corey Close is talking about with UCLA.
Duke on the other side, of course, the buzzer beater in the Sweet 16, an overtime win to take the ACC tournament. They have been in these situations recently. Winner to the Final Four to face either Michigan or Texas. Dugalich. UCLA continues its dominance in the paint. 42 of their 53 inside.
How good has Dugalich been all game? 10 points to join Lauren Betts in double figures up front.
Takeaway by Hawkes.
Duke had 16 points in the first half off UCLA turnovers. They have 0 in the second half.
Much better execution from these Bruin veterans, all of them seniors or grad students with over 22 years of college basketball combined.
Look at the movement off the post entry.
Dugalich, offensive rebound and one.
UCLA didn't cut off the post in the first half like they have here in the second. This is one of the adjustments for Corey Close and her staff. And then look at Dugalich. Because you're moving off the ball, off the entry, you can get in position on the weak side to rebound. Well done by the Bruins.
Second foul on Mayer. Dugalich already has a pair of double-doubles this NCAA tournament. She's got double digits with 13 points today.
Switching that slot ball screen. Except for when Betts is involved, she stays in drop coverage.
5 on the shot clock. Mayer for 3, and that's the first of the game after Duke went 0 for 10 from downtown in the first 3 quarters.
That is a huge play by Tiana Mayer. She has been fantastic all postseason, including the ACC Tournament Championship.
Leads all scorers with 19. Betts, another offensive rebound. And it's a layup drill in this fourth quarter early for the Bruins.
But no panic for Duke. They need to run their stuff. They need to get Toby Fournier established. Fournier leads them in scoring. And she only has 8 points here in this game as a 17-point per game scorer.
She and Ashlyn Jackson, their magic maker in the Sweet 16, and there's Fournier, no, and it's out of bounds to UCLA.
This is a great job of playing inside out. Ledger Walker, too casual on the closeout. And then Betts on the weak side. Again, another offensive rebound.
Rice to Betts.
Haven't seen them go to horns yet. That is a tough entry. That is the wrong angle. That is good D by Duke. That is a terrible decision by UCLA.
Duke is trying to quickly inbound it so UCLA can't check it, and The veteran Duke Leach decides to tie her shoes so they can take a closer look.
And Corey Close is going to substitute so they can look. Two good ways, two veteran ways.
Yeah. And Kara Lawson on the other side is like, hey, what's going on here?
Well, Coach Lawson has given it to the official because she knows exactly what we're talking about, Beth. That's exactly what UCLA was doing. There's nothing in the rules about that. It's kind of like in football, right, when you fake an injury? It's strategy. It's strategy.
And Kara doesn't agree with it. That is off of Thomas, it would appear. We'll get it all figured out. The officials over at the scorer's table when we come back. Bruins up 8. Well, the NCAA championships have been dominated by #1 seeds so far, and it looks like the #1 seed may be getting the ball here on another successful appeal by UCLA. That appears to go off of Delaney Thomas. Let's see if there's something else from a different angle. Nope.
What a great job strategically by Corey Close and her staff.
There was clear evidence that the ball was last touched by blue 12 prior to going out of bounds. The appeal is successful. White will not be charged a timeout, and we will put the ball on the end line with 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Beth, remember what Corey said to Jess in that interview about the tougher, smarter, veteran, we're a mature team? There was an example of it right there. Tie the shoes, give your staff a chance to look at the iPad, substitute, take your time getting a sub in. And Kara Lawson was all over it. She knew exactly what they were doing.
Betts working on Fournier, and it's from a double-digit deficit to a double-digit lead for UCLA. Trying to follow suit with UConn to get another #1 seed into the Final Four. I mean, look at the dominance for UCLA, Connecticut, Texas, and South Carolina. They have all been rolling along. It has happened 4 times in 44 years that all #1s have reached the Final Four. And it's still possible, Debbie, that the same group from last year at the Final Four returns this year. That's only happened 1 time.
That's a good possibility of it happening again.
Betts.
Look how far they throw that lob. And because they've made threes, Duke defense spread out. Great find.
Fournier will respond. The second half advantage for UCLA is 31-13 on the scoreboard.
Duke's got to dig in right here. They have made this their identity all season. Their pressure D.
Leach can't hit the 3. It's a Duke team that was oh so close a year ago. They lost in the final minute of the Elite 8 to South Carolina. Been one of the best teams in the country the second half of this season, trying to end a 20-year Final Four drought. Foul down low. But they got to figure out something to do with this over-the-top lob.
I mean, look how much air time and no help. It's Betts' work early. Ball over her head, release to catch with 2 hands, and a nice pass to the corner of the backboard by Duke Leach.
Well, you think of those great teams, Steady, the late 90s, early 2000s with Gail Gestencourt at Duke. They have been to 4 Final Fours, twice playing for the national championship, but it's been a minute. 2006, the last time they were there. You think of Elena Beard and Georgia Schweitzer and Mo Curry and Lindsey Harding and Abby Wayner, all those great players that wore the blue for the Devils. Can this group rally here in the 4th quarter to get back? But it has been UCLA's second half so far. All 4 of their games now, Debbie, in the tournament, they've scored at least 50 in the paint.
Well, they have 6'7", and not many players have an All-American on the block like Lauren Betts. That's one of the reasons. The other is because they have a balanced perimeter game.
Good off the bounce. Mayer's pass deflected. Kiki Rice will run with it. Rice to the left side, blocked by Nelson, and a held ball will go to Duke. With 5 minutes to play.
There's a lot of contact. Duke's been in this position before, last year in the Elite Eight against South Carolina in Birmingham with a chance to go to the Final Four. In their late game execution, let them down. South Carolina had a lot to do with that. Let's see if they can make some plays here.
Mayer, she's been their go-to. She's got 21.
It's not even like you have to dump the playbook on her. Just put her in a middle ball screen.
Back to a 2-possession game. More of Betts and a foul.
Taina Mayer right here. Good twist, screen on the top. That's Toby Fournier setting it one way, turning and setting it another. Knowing that Betts is in that ball screen, Mayer knows she's gonna come off that with space. She's had it all game.
Lauren to the line. She's 4 for 4. 8 of 12 from the floor with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists today.
Gotta be ready to rebound here.
Gets 1 of 2. We saw Duke in the first half when they've been able to push, been able to run. They've been at their best. Jackson, 0 for 7, and scoreless so far. Fournier, Betts is there with a block. And Rice on the run with Neepkins will wisely circle back.
Smart. Corey Close over there. Playbook in hand. Communicating with her point guard. Her 4-year starter on the top of the floor, Kiki Rice.
Jaquez finds a seam, short. Terrific box out by Fournier. It's another held ball, and it will stay with UCLA.
Emotions getting a little bit challenged here. You got to keep it under control. There's a lot of contact right here. Well, she's wrapping her up from behind. So in the WNBA, I know this is college, but if you wrap them up like that, that is not a foul. Even though she looked like she had her from behind. The official thought she had the ball.
Rice. Betts with a touch. Shot clock winding down, and a foul, and if that's on Fournier, that's 4.
In a late clock, too. Duke had her under duress.
That is her 4th. With 3.5 to go. Chance for UCLA to bleed more clock if they want.
This is where Kiki Rice and Charlize Ledger-Walker, 2 point guards on the floor, matters. This is the way they play.
Dugalich scoops it up and in as they burn another 20 seconds.
She tried to get a timeout. She was screaming for a timeout. Chased the official down the sideline. The official should be looking for that.
34-17 in the second half. UCLA outscoring Duke.
Late clock, go to Dugalich. What a finish. And then watch Corey Close chasing the sideline. Here she comes. She is chasing down the official trying to get that timeout. We got to put a clock on Corey. Look how fast she is.
Even in the leather pants. A little more aerodynamic, Debbie. It is all smiles for UCLA. You think about Corey Close, longtime assistant coach for Sue Semrau at Florida State. And for those of you that may not be around women's basketball a ton, a very close personal friend of Papa John Wooden, and has taken so much of her style of coaching from Coach Wooden. Teamwork, selfless. We asked her what would he love about this team, and she said first and foremost he'd love their spirit. And we have seen that blue-collar work ethic, the consistency to keep getting Lauren Betts touches every time up the floor.
Corey also told us that she is one of 4 people that are allowed to call John Wooden Papa.
Delaney Thomas around and out, and now time of the essence for Duke to try and make something happen. Something like that for Ashlyn Jackson with his deflection.
Jackson hits the biggest shot of her career to win the game against LSU and is 0 for 7 in this one, but makes a defensive play to get the possession back.
Do what it takes to give her team a chance, but it's one and done there.
A lot of good free throw shooters on the floor for UCLA. Kiki Rice, 90%. Charlize Ledger-Walker is the one that I would foul.
Rice has it. Betts wants it, she's got it. Fournier with the 4 fouls, defending, patient, probing, and a travel.
Duke has 3 team fouls, so they still have 1 more to give. But they've got to score. They can't have empty possessions now.
And so far, the 3-ball has not been their friend.
Well, number 22 in blue has been their best offensive player all game.
Good hedge by Dugalich, but then on the switch, Thomas scores.
And that right there is called killing the clock, and the officials blew the whistle because they wanted to stop the clock. Duke needs that precious time.
You've got players on the floor for UCLA. Their careers over 130 games, over 140 games collegiately. Their eye is on getting 1 more on Friday of the Final 4. Betts did touch rim. Rice, second chance, no. Third chance around and out. Duke thought that there was a step on the mid-court line, no call. Third on Thomas.
I mean, this is a great trap right here, too.
Ooh.
She's close, but she's not on the line. A white sneaker on a black line. That helps.
Kiki's a 90% shooter. A little side spin on that one. Keeping the door open for Duke.
I'd see a little token pressure right here by UCLA.
Gets 1 of 2. Mayer for 3. Short. UCLA ball. Looks like Duke wants to go with an aggressive man-to-man right now, and there's nobody up on Betts. 1 minute to go. The Big Ten champs trying to knock out the ACC champs and get to the Final 4. Timeout, UCLA. The Duke seniors, Ashlyn Jackson, Taina Mayer. Can they come up with the big plays late? It's been a huge problem with UCLA's seniors in this second half. Led by Lauren Betts.
21 points on 13 field goal attempts. She's got a double-double with 10 rebounds. She's been fantastic in the circle. 2 feet in the paint, 2 points, UCLA. At 6'7", a dominant force on both sides of the ball.
You're seeing the job that their coaching staff has done, but also the experience, Debbie, from this group. We've talked all day about how together they are as a group, how old they are playing together, and they have almost doubled up Duke on the scoreboard in the second half. Nearly 700 college basketball games amongst them. And they know it's the last hurrah, and they are looking to extend it a little bit longer.
What a pass.
Timeout, Duke.
What a pass. Situational offense, the execution. Watch how they clear out the backside. Everyone cuts to the ball. It's false action to allow the lob over the top. Put on the money by Ledger Walker. Look at Betts.
Tongue out a wagon and a 10-point lead as a #1 seed looks to advance. Huge second half. The discipline, really, Debbie, to make sure they are playing inside out every time they bring in the ball up the floor.
Well, the body language, the cadence, the way they cut off the post, their ability to knock down a couple of threes, this is well beyond their average. This is a team that makes almost 8 threes a game. They were 2 for 14 outside the three-point line. Just the senior maturity and sense of urgency and the way they busted out of the locker room to take a commanding lead.
Looking to join Connecticut on the opposite side of the bracket. Trying to get to the Final Four for the second time. And continue the quest for a second national championship, the first NCAA title on their minds. They won it all back in 1978, an AIAW title.
Let's go, Devils!
Michigan or Texas awaits. Jackson. UCLA will have it. Duke initially here trying to get the steal, and will they foul? Yes. 34 seconds to go.
A 90% free throw shooter.
$23 for Betts, a double-double, 15 for Dugalich. They are about to set a new school record if they close this out with a 35th win and a 29th win in a row. And if the 1 seed holds tomorrow, a potential Texas rematch with the only team that's beaten them all year back in November. Duke will call the timeout to advance here, down 12, and they will have 1 timeout remaining.
What an incredible target on Corey Close's back all season. 12 Big Ten teams made the NCAA tournament. That's the most of any league, and they went undefeated in that league. And when the pressure mounted and you had another 20 minutes left to look at your teammates in the locker room and come out and play the way they played, with high level of intensity, with incredible purpose, intentionally continuing to establish the paint. But they hit a couple of threes early in the second half, and that really opened up more space for 6'7" Lauren Betts on the interior.
They have kept what they call a small circle, because outside of the program, everybody was expecting them to be in the Final Four and play for a national championship. And Corey's message all year long was, earn it, don't wish it to be. And they've earned it so far with a big second half, trying to finish it here. scoop shot, no good from Mayer, and UCLA's got it. Shot clock is off. And the Bruin fans are on their feet. And get ready for a lot of 8 clapping in Westwood, because UCLA is going back to the Final Four. Bruins win it with a huge second half, 70-58 your final. And for the second year in a row, Duke comes up just 1 game short of that Final Four. And the Big Ten champs join UConn. 2 of the #1 seeds have reached Phoenix. And 2 more to come tomorrow night on ESPN. Will it be Texas and South Carolina? Or can Michigan and TCU get to the Final Four, as we send it over to Jess Sims?
Lauren, congratulations. You went from a double-digit deficit to now this lead, this win. How does it feel? How did you keep your composure?
I'm just so proud of this team, our perseverance. God, I'm sweaty. Thanks. I'm just so proud of this team, this perseverance, our mental toughness. We were down, we went into that locker room at halftime, and it didn't matter. We were going to come out with defensive stops. I'm just so proud of everybody.
You play on such an unselfish and veteran team. Can you describe the love and trust that you have for your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, we love each other so much, and we're fighting for more days with each other. That's our biggest motivation. We just love each other so much. We play for each other, and that's why we're so good.
Congratulations. We'll see you in Phoenix.
Thank you.
UCLA wins the second half, Debbie, 39-19, and they win the game to go to the Final Four.
The experience paid off in the final 20 minutes. The interior play, the balance, and the body language and the emotions, all of them came together at the right time to advance to a trip to Phoenix. It's going to be fun watching them the rest of the way.
So congratulations to the UCLA Bruins, to the UConn Huskies. They punched the first 2 tickets to the Final Four. And a doubleheader coming your way tomorrow night on ESPN to fill those last 2 spots in Phoenix. For our entire crew, thanks so much for being with us. Violet Palmer, Jess Sims, Debbie Antonelli. I'm Beth Mowens. Our producer, Seth Miller, our director, Mike Griffin, and our outstanding group in the truck and courtside with us. It's UCLA moving on. 7 Eastern tomorrow, the doubleheader begins on ESPN with Michigan and Texas, followed by TCU and South Carolina.